Hi Capricorn, here is a general look at your solar chart for September 2015, and there's some significant shifts going on at the moment. Jupiter moved last month and now it's the turn of your ruling planet Saturn, which means that it will put a different emphasis on your sun sign chart, Capricorn. There's a kind of a feeling of potential coming in, but also of a shifting of gears and a letting go of certain things as well. So the sun position up until the 23rd does hint at new potentials in the wind, and this is a good time maybe to get out of the daily grind or out of the familiar rut into fresh territory. Take a trip away, take a day out, sign up for something new, which will kind of plunge you in at the deep end, and you learn something new. Mercury is in an area to do with your work maybe, or your profession. But it's also in an area to do with professionals. So maybe more conversations with other professionals or with authority figures, or maybe conversations revolving around certain goals that you've got, certain targets that you'd like to meet, and maybe also thinking about your responsibilities more at this time. It could also be to do with parents or parental figures, so more interchange with them for some of you, particularly the mother figure. And then, or maybe even harking back to the past on that one there. Now, Venus and Mars are both in the same place. Venus has been there since June the 6th. And Mars is going to be in there for most of August, if you listen to this in August, and up until the 25th of September. Mars is in the sector of your chart that clears the decks for new beginnings. So one manifestation of this could be a declutter, or maybe there's something you've got to let go of. Maybe it's an idea or an expectation, or maybe it's a negative expectation that you've got to let go of, which is getting in your way. Or you could be looking at regenerating an ailing or stale situation. It could be working in many ways, whether it's a spring clean, a rethink, a detox, or a spring clean. This Mars position means coming up against pre-existing conditions, behaviors, or another's requirements, or another's value system, which then, because it might feel like a conflict, or it might feel like you're just going to pool your resources in with them, whatever it is. It means that there's going to be this inner shift, this letting go, this literally externally decluttering to some degree or other, because of this changing of the cogs sort of moving, and the wheels shifting and changing, and you could be more aware of the standpoint or the feelings or the values of another as well, or the requirements of another, like an outside agency. This area here is also about debts, and that can be due or owed, and it can also be about some kind of contract, some kind of agreement, some kind of setup. And with Mars here, it looks as though there could be decisions taken. It's also about inheritance and about legacies and the like as well. So there could be some kind of action. Mars is very action orientated, taken related to any of those areas there, and it might be just kind of synchromeshing in more with somebody else's plans, somebody else's expectations or hopes and dreams. It could be like that. But whatever it is, you're looking for a win-win solution, but listening with your inner ear and your inner eye. And yes, there could be a moment or two of disagreement as well. However, I think this will be really softened and mitigated by the fact that Venus is there. And Venus in this place here can mean that you feel supported. You feel that somebody's on your side. You feel that you feel that even if you fell, you wouldn't fall too far, or it wouldn't be too bad, you know. So whatever that's about. This is a lovely place for Venus to be. Another thing about it being here, Venus being here, is that this is somebody who touches your emotions very, very deeply. Or indeed, turn that around, you might be touching the emotions of somebody very, very deeply. And it can be an intense moment or two. It's a rather sizzly moment or two for some of you as well. And some of you are really head over heels with this one. Both Venus and Mars in that place. Whew, that's hot stuff. So that's a way it can be working as well. So whatever it's about, formally or informally, or intimately, things just may become more involved, you see, much closer. Venus here could also manifest as a relationship helping you out materially. So financially, or to do with property, or to do with certain resources that you really need in major or minor ways. But you could, so if you've been frustrated with somebody maybe who has not just hasn't been able to get it, you know, hasn't been able to suss you or your needs, then this is a great time to find that right person, because under these auspices that can be, you know, bring that towards you in double quick time, but you need to reach out for it, which is rather fortunate from where the sun is, because the sun energy will kind of underpin that feeling of, okay, reaching out further, reaching out into something different and something new. It could work like that. Okay, from the 25th, Mars is then moving out of there into the expansive area that the sun has just moved out of on the 23rd. So the sun moves out of that expansive area on the 23rd and into an area more to do with your targets, your overall directions in life, your goals that you want to achieve, and you being more aware of traditions, maybe conventions, maybe the image and how you're coming across to certain others. So, you know, you want to present something in the way that will best reflect what you're trying to say or show. And the overall idea is to just take your worldly responsibilities more seriously, but also to make sure that you reach some kind of standard which maybe you set for yourself, or maybe not, or maybe with these more sort of like authority figures more seriously as well. But the Mars position goes into this very expansive area, and that means that you can be learning through doing, that you can be sharing with others your experience, your story, your knowledge. It's a great one for reaching out to new horizons, taking a trip again, getting out of the rut, getting right away, and being very much doing whatever you can to stretch yourself more mentally or physically, or both indeed, with this Mars position here, and enjoying it as well. The shift of Saturn into the sign before yours, Sagittarius, on September the 17th will mean that that the emphasis of the slow cultivating of others, maybe under that long transit of Saturn in that area, or indeed the progress that you wanted to make, which was maybe very, very slow and only came painstaking, well, in a painstaking kind of a way. Now that area progress will be accelerated, because the sort of slow energy of Saturn is removing itself, herself, and into the next sector, which is the sign before yours, Sagittarius, and that means that's a lot of tying up of loose ends in preparation for the shift of Saturn coming into your sign in December 2017. So that's a really, really long transit in the sign before yours. And this is the chrysalis area. This is the area where there are deeper things going on to do with the past, harking back to the past, and trying to put right whatever, or maybe recording the past, doing a huge recapitulation of the past. But you may be called upon to be a support for others more with Saturn in this house, and others may not appreciate just how much you are dealing with in your own right for yourself as well as for them when they call upon you. But also it could be that you reach out and say, okay, I'll lean upon them then. I haven't done this before, but hey, maybe this is the time to do that. Not to become like dependent. I'm not meaning that. That wouldn't be good. But to say, well, maybe I can't do this on my own, whatever it's about, whether it's to do with healing, health matters, whether it's to do with spiritual things or practices, or it can actually also in this area here be to do with you using your imagination, you working at something which is artistic. So, or using your imagination in another kind of a way. This is you things chuntering away behind the scenes and you getting on with things behind the scenes. And tying up, this is a mega review and tying up of loose ends in preparation for Saturn coming into your sign. You Capricorns born on the 18th to the 20th of January, or from 28 degrees rising, going to feel this energy the most. And then Jupiter is going to be working happily out of his own house in your solar chart. This is great. This is a very strong Jupiter vibe then for you over the following 12 months. So Jupiter coming out of there in September 2016. And this means that you'll have more of an opportunity again to do what I was talking about, push the envelope of daily life, get out into very unfamiliar surroundings, maybe even travel more, connect with others at a distance more, broadening your horizons very much, learning new things. Growth will come with Jupiter in this area here, if you allow it, of course. And also putting out onto a wider stage your opinion about things, perhaps, and developing things there like that. Or indeed getting into education. This would be a very good one to be doing with Jupiter here, because you're likely to find a really suitable, good teacher figure for you with Jupiter here. Jupiter holds the promise of potential abundance. It's got a lot of potential with it, and this is a great vibration for you to feel safe as you push the envelope in these sorts of areas. Travel, education, broadcasting across a wider stage, media, politics, the law even is related to this area here. And this is an expansive phase where you can, it can come together if you are using any of those sorts of areas, or indeed any of the other areas that the 9th house, if you want to look this up, covers. And just pushing the boundaries of your known world into new fields of experience, endeavor, whatever it is for you. And you Capricorns born the 24th of December to the 1st of January, or with 3 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this month. And then Uranus, for you Capricorns, and Pluto hasn't really moved. Either of them haven't really moved since last month. Those of you born the 8th to the 12th of January, or with 18 to 21 degrees rising for Uranus, and that is, Uranus is at the root of your chart, meaning Uranus at the root of your chart for this very long transit, meaning a certain perhaps emotional unsettlement, because there are changes going on in your space, or to do with property, or to do with family, a feeling of the shifting into new stages, transforming into another kind of reality related to that area there. But this feeling of unsettlement. But it can also mean a huge makeover, a huge transformation, and it might not be affecting you so emotionally. You Capricorns are pretty tough. So, but there's always maybe, if it is affecting you, you might have to really listen to yourself to feel where it is. But this kind of uncertainty around the root of your life, to do with location, to do with family, to do with the past as well. And this energy will help you to progress into and inhabit the future, leaving the past behind. Pluto is also not at the root of your chart. Pluto is in your sign, and Pluto is also shifting you and morphing you and transforming you from the inside out into this new version of yourself. So it's actually a really interesting time, a really powerful time for you, when you'll be feeling a lot more sensitive about everything. But as long as you're aware of it, that's okay. Now, we've got a couple of other things going on. It's better to be aware of it than think, why are all these changes happening with me? I don't know why. At least you do know why. We have this Neptune-Jupiter opposition going on after the first week, and this might mean, oh, too idealistic, or too sort of too idealistic about somebody or something, or too head in the clouds, or not being real enough, not being grounded enough, which seems to be a strange thing to say, but this is across all of the signs. Depending on what else is going on with your natal chart, this brief transit might make you unreliable or others unreliable. It might mean that you are elusive or others are elusive. So I would just say, you know, just have a plan B. And there is a good energy coming in, because there's going to be a total lunar eclipse on the 28th. And that lunar eclipse connects really well with Saturn. So it might be that, seeing as the eclipse will sort of unfurl and unpackage itself over the months subsequent to the eclipse, that will be a stabilizing influence, because Jupiter and Neptune will be opposite each other still during the time of the eclipse. So that will help, and that will help to consolidate and stabilize things. And Saturn, of course, is going to be in the sign before yours. So this is like laying to rest certain things, you know, a little skeleton in the closet, just kind of, okay, whew, that's breathed out of me or breathed through me. And of course, this might be a good time to try therapies like EFT, that type of thing, because that will help to cleanse and clear, especially with Venus and Mars where they are. That will be, yes, this is a good time to try that. And also tapping, look it up. Okay, that's it for September. If you know your rising sign, your moon sign, listen to those, and also this material, the bones of it anyway, apart from these signs, is written up on my website, DianaGarland.com.